Hello everyone, my name is Makeda Voletta, also known as Queen Lioness and the Body Scientist. And for those of you who don't know, I am a strength and conditioning coach, exercise physiologist, sports nutritionist. Um, that's what I do, okay? So I am all about, helping people get their body to its highest level. And with nutrition, with sports nutrition, it's geared towards performance. So we look for the best foods, whether best foods for recovery, whether best foods for performance, whether best foods to consume so that you have your strength and your endurance day after day, and to keep your body together. Okay, and there's a lot of, in the United States, there's been a lot of demonizing of animal foods. You know, as a trainer and nutritionist, I've seen a lot of people come to me who are doing their best to do better. They want to become healthier. So when I ask them, when I ask them questions about their diet, oftentimes they're consuming like skim milk, low-fat stuff, lots of wheat and whole grains. A lot of times sources of polyunsaturated expeller pressed vegetable oils that they may not realize is toxic. A lot of times trying to avoid the fat, they're consuming more sugar, like consuming, the frozen yogurt from all the frozen yogurt places where it's all fat free, but it's full of sugar, and they think that that's a good thing, and it's not. But these foods, okay, people, they think that animal foods are causing diabetes, that they must cut all that out. Now, this video I'm going to talk about the healing properties of animal foods, okay? Because we never really hear that. We hear about the healing properties of herbs, okay, and herbs and medicinal plants, which is very important. And by the way, let me just say and remind everybody that herbs and plants, flowers, fruits and vegetables, they're all living, okay? They all communicate and they all feel. So when you pick an apple off the tree, when you cut it open with a knife, when you hack open a coconut, with a machete, it's the same thing as maybe breaking a chicken's neck, okay? For those who are connected with nature, they understand that the plants and the animals are both living, they both communicate with us, and we live symbiotically with them both. Like, we can't breathe without the trees, we can't breathe. And, without, and without us, they can't breathe, okay? So we need each other. Now, the animals, every single animal, every single living organism on this planet has a purpose, and has a purpose and a job to do. And we all work symbiotically with each other. So I'm saying this to say that just like when you see the sacred drum, which is, seen all over the world, there's the animal skin and then there's a tree, okay? So there's a plant and animal combined. So all indigenous people in Asia, Europe, Africa, the Americas, the Polynesian Islands, all used both animal and plant properties and foods and things to heal. Okay, so if you look at the instruments and playing instruments and dancing to the instruments is healing and has its place. And the instruments are made from both. There's some instruments that are made from bones, jaw bones from certain animals. Okay. So that's, just remember that the instruments are also healing, okay? So you have that element, but we have sacred foods, and one of the main sacred foods, or two I can say, that have been forgotten in the United States, which used to be more common and is common in other parts of the world. But number one is the use of organ meats, okay? Because most of the nutrition is in the organs, not in the flesh. In the 1930s and 1920s, it was very common in the United States to see organ meats in cookbooks, okay? Kidneys, which they call sweetbreads, and liver, and the heart. I have friends, that grew up in different countries in the Caribbean that may have been eating fish eyeballs or may have been eating cow brains. Or, I was in, being in a Peruvian restaurant and it had beef heart on a stick. You go to Mexican restaurants, you can find heart, you can find tongue. So these organ meats, okay, and like heals like, okay. So if something is wrong with your heart, the greatest source of coenzyme Q10, which is a supplement that is prescribed to people with heart issues, the most potent source of coenzyme Q10 is the heart, okay? The most potent source of vitamin C is the adrenal glands. That's why people ate them. There's way more vitamin C in the adrenal glands than there are in fruits and vegetables. Way more. Especially now, given the fact that the soil is so depleted and that most of the fruits and vegetables that we consume are weeks or months old when we get them, and they're grown in depleted soil, okay? So the fruits and vegetables are like about 50% or more lower in vitamin C than they were just 50 years ago, okay? But even when it's grown in the most potent and fertile of soil, the adrenal glands is much higher in vitamin C because the adrenal glands is what produces and stores vitamin C. And it's associated with stress. Okay, when we get stressed out, that fight or fight mechanism is the adrenal glands that kick in. And whenever we're stressed out, we need more vitamin C. Okay, any kind of stress, physical, emotional, you got surgery, injury, you always need more vitamin C. The liver, okay, is one of the most potent sources of iron, if the most potent source of iron and vitamin A. This is why it's a very common food for pregnant women and pre-fertility women all around the world to consume eggs. Not eggs, I'm sorry, I meant to say liver, to consume liver. But eggs as well, because eggs are also very high in iron and vitamin A, hence the orange yolk. Like when you eat eggs from pasture chickens who are outside grazing, eating grass, eating worms, eating insects, because chickens are omnivores, not vegetarians, so they're not supposed to be eating grain feed and stuff like that. Chickens naturally walk around, they eat grass, they pick out the insects, pick out the worms, get sunlight, get exercise. Eggs from chickens like that, or the yolk is very orange, which is an indication of a lot of iron. Iron is red, and vitamin A, okay, which is also associated with that color. True vitamin A is only in animal foods, okay. Beta carotene is in plants, but beta carotene is not true vitamin A. Beta carotene is a precursor of vitamin A, and the body needs a lot of saturated fat for one to convert beta carotene into true vitamin A, and it takes many units of beta carotene to make one true unit of vitamin A. So you have to consume lots of beta carotene and lots of saturated fat. So doing something like putting butter on your yams, okay, putting butter on your carrots, lots of butter can help with that conversion, but that conversion a lot of times is impaired in children, the elderly, people with certain metabolic issues. So this is the reason why pre-fertility women, pregnant women, ate liver, they ate the eggs and ovaries of various animals. You have in different parts of the world men consuming the testicles of certain animals to increase their testosterone. There are stories of Native Americans seeing colonizers in the woods going blind and giving them deer eyeballs, okay? Because the most potent source of vitamin A actually is in the eyes. We have, true vitamin A is called retinol, which sounds like retina, okay? Vitamin A is stored in the eyeballs. So the organs. The organs are where nutrients are stored. They're the most nutrient-dense, places. They're also very high in cholesterol, and cholesterol is not, okay, let me say it again. Cholesterol is not the cause of heart attacks. It's not the cause of any problem, okay? When our body produces cholesterol, it's because there's damage in the body, and the cholesterol is there to repair the damage. So if you get hurt, if you fall out of a window, and the ambulance comes to get you, and take you to the hospital, and somebody else comes and they see the ambulance and they see you hurt, bleeding on the floor, they may blame it on the ambulance people. Oh, they hurt her. No, the people in the ambulance didn't hurt her. They came to help her and to take her to the hospital to be repaired. That's what cholesterol does. High density, low density. It goes to the repair site, to the site of damage, and then goes to repair and then goes back. And goes back to the liver. Okay, so it's cholesterol is there to repair damage. So if you get surgery, if you get cut, you get sick, any stress to the body, your cholesterol levels go up because there's repair being done. So if you notice your cholesterol levels are astronomically high, what the healthcare practitioner should do is not put you on a cholesterol-lowering medication, but they should ask themselves, what is stress in this person's body? What's off in their body? What damage is in the body? Okay, there's something damaged, something off. You have to address that, okay, not attack the cholesterol. Now, dietary cholesterol, when we consume cholesterol in our diet, is used to make hormones. It's used for our brain. Okay, progesterone, estrogen, testosterone, they're all made from cholesterol. We need cholesterol to produce vitamin D. So cholesterol, and we don't get nearly as much cholesterol. Anthropological and archaeological, historical, nutritional, biological research shows that indigenous people who were healthier than us, that didn't have glasses and stuff like that, they ate way more saturated fat and cholesterol than us. And the people currently in the world who still do eat a lot of cholesterol don't have high levels of blood cholesterol or epidemics of heart attacks. If we look around Asia, Europe, the French are the second healthiest, longest living people in the world. They eat tons of heavy cream and butter. There's lots of, they're cooking with duck fat and goose fat. You look around Asia, they eat lots of organs, okay? They eat a lot of things that would gross Americans out, but they're high in cholesterol, and they don't have this epidemic of heart disease. We have epidemic of heart disease over here ever since they told us to be afraid of cholesterol. There wasn't an epidemic of heart disease pre-1914 or whenever the first time it was documented. Now it has its epidemic proportions that have skyrocketed. Everybody's afraid of cholesterol and da-da-da-da. You need cholesterol for your heart health, and you need saturated fat for your heart. You probably weren't aware of that. You should check out the book Fats That Heal, Fats That Kill by Udo Erasmus, PhD. You can also check out Eat Fat to Lose Fat by Mary Enig, PhD. These are both PhDs who talk about what I'm talking about in more depth, okay? So you need this, okay? Animal fat is vitally important. Without it, you won't be able to absorb your fat-soluble vitamins. Vitamins A and D are only in animal foods. And vitamins, fat-soluble vitamins A, D, and K, if you don't eat enough fat, you will not be able to absorb them. And you need saturated fat, you need monounsaturated fat, and polyunsaturated fat, but not rancid, expeller pressed polyunsaturated fat like corn oil and soybean oil and canola oil and safflower oil and sunflower oil. That stuff is highly toxic. Cold pressed coconut oil, cold pressed extra virgin olive oil, those are okay. Those are great. Okay, palm oil and stuff like that. So we have the organs, okay, and then we also have, and there's a lot of use in traditional medicine, documentation of using organs, consuming organs to heal organs in people, and we have that, and then we have bone broth, okay, which was common in the United States and is common still in many countries where they take the bones of the chicken or of the fish or of the cow, take the bones of the animal, the whole thing, and boil it in a pot with some apple cider vinegar or something acidic, so that helps to pull the minerals out of the bones. They boil it for hours. It could be 24 hours, it could be 12 hours. Boiling for hours, skimming the scum off the top and keeping that clear liquid, which is called a stock or a broth. You can make vegetable soup with it. You can put it in your chili, in your different kinds of sauces and soups, okay? This is very nourishing for your digestive tract. Helps with your digestion. Anybody with digestive issues should be consuming stocks and broths on a regular basis, on a daily basis if you can. It also helps to make the protein that you do eat go further. So if somebody doesn't eat a lot of meat, or if they, it helps that protein, go even further. And it also is very important for your joints, okay? A lot of clients, every time I've had clients with knee problems or joint problems, especially knee problems, I've always prescribed glucosamine and chondroitin. But you can naturally get that glucosamine and chondroitin from broths. So if you have any issues with your joints, it's really important, your bones and your joints, to consume broths and stocks, okay? So do your research on broths and stocks. Every country, the Mediterranean, we don't hear this when we talk about the Mediterranean diet, but the Mediterranean, they eat lots of organs, they eat dark meat, dark meat is highly nutritious food. It's very high in iron and good quality protein and fats, especially when it's coming, of course, from wild animals or grass-fed animals. Now, I'm not talking about sick factory-farmed animals. I'm not talking about that. I'm always talking about getting foods from local, healthy environments, local farms, not from the food industry. So let me be clear. So I'm not talking about the stuff that's being abused and sitting as defecation, not that. We want to avoid that at all costs. Same thing is true of the plant foods, because they're also being grown and picked and shipped in horrible conditions as well. So I'm not discussing that. But the bone broths. Then we have, like I said, eggs, raw milk. Raw milk was consumed. I've done some videos on raw milk and raw honey. I suggest look at those videos. I did 2 of them. and the part 1 and part 2, and you can look at testimonials on the videos of all the people that maybe thought they couldn't consume milk, were afraid of raw milk, whose health got better, their children's health got better. But raw milk was consumed in many parts of the world. The Maasai, the women go on a diet of just raw milk and blood 6 months prior to conception. Raw milk has beneficial bacteria that's very important for our immune system, very important for our digestion, okay, vitally important. You don't have to worry about being lactose intolerant because the lactase enzyme is in the raw milk, so is the amylase enzyme, so you don't have to produce the lactase enzyme, so that's the reason why people have problems with homogenized pasteurized milk, because the enzymes have been killed. But it's full of enzymes, full of beneficial bacteria, very high quality protein, whey protein, which occurs in milk, which you'll find in every gym and every athlete, every bodybuilding place. Whey protein is the best for muscle recovery and muscle building. Casein protein as well. Then very vital fats, the MCT and CLA fats, which are extremely important for our brain, for burning fat. Okay, so raw milk is almost a complete food. It has carbohydrates, which is in the form of lactose. It has very high quality protein, and it has very high quality fats. And the protein in egg yolks and whey protein are like the highest quality proteins. Like egg yolk is like the most absorbable protein for humans. Egg yolks, whey protein, and the protein in dark meat, okay, the most biologically available proteins, okay. And there are many ways to study and see how the muscle uptakes proteins, and plant proteins just don't cut it. Not even hemp protein, as it compares to the protein in egg yolks, dark meat, and raw milk, okay. So I'm going to stop here for now, but I suggest that you do your own research. Definitely, your research is never complete without checking out the work of Weston A. Price. A lot of people will badmouth him, but look for yourself because there's no disputing his work. Check out his book, which is called Nutrition and Physical Degeneration. It's by Weston A. Price, DDS. I also suggest checking the book Real Food by Nina Plank. Her research is impeccable. And Deep Nutrition, Why Our Genes Need Traditional Foods by Catherine Shanahan, MD. And I suggest looking at Dr. Mercola's website, which is Mercola, MERCOLA.com. And look into these things that I am talking to you about. In the meantime, you can find me on Facebook at Makeda Voletta The Body Scientist. That is Makeda Voletta The Body Scientist. And I put a link to my blog below that I just started. You can find me on Twitter at Queen_Makeda, and I'm always available for individual consultations for nutrition and fitness. Okay? So I love you all. Hope you found this helpful, and peace and be well.